Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about 7 things that I wish I would have known earlier. For me, there never really were the right role models because, as we know, everyone nowadays is going the conventional path, which is go to kindergarten, preschool, school, then you graduate from high school, ideally, and after that you start studying. Some take up a huge loan because of that, in the United States especially, just to then be enslaved with their job after high school for years and years and years, being scared of taking the step of becoming an entrepreneur. Maybe, can be, I don't know. But that's like this conventional path that is just laid in front of us. And for me, that's just a path that I respect. For many, there are a lot of people that get wealthy because of this approach, but I want to see if I can do it on the way. I don't know, on the way. There are a lot of people that may want to give you advice, but they can't really give you good advice because they have been indoctrinated, if you can say that, with the mindset of the conventional path. So the first thing I wish I knew earlier was how important reading actually is. I never really read a lot of books. I was more like the novel kid, but at some point I got the book Rich Dad Poor Dad into my hands from my father, and I just completely soaked it in. Like, sucked it all in. I soaked all the information in, and then I was so hungry to learn more, which was the start of my reading journey. I was 16 when I read that, or 15? I don't know. But I have 3 things that I can say really enhanced my abilities on a day-to-day basis. And the reason why I wish I knew this earlier is just because the things that I've learned in these, let's say, 4 years from all the books that I have read, I think if I would have been able to implement those much earlier, I would have been somewhere completely different right now, at a completely different part of my journey, and I'd be leveled up. Don't know how to describe it, but I think I'd be somewhere else. The 3 parts are, for one thing, that my concentration span went up to like 6 to 8 hours. I can actually now, because I'm able to concentrate so long on a book, I am now magically able to sit down and actually concentrate on one thing only for 6 to 8 hours. That's crazy to me. That came in handy for my graduation exams. Then also, I am interested in multiple fields, multiple topics, like health, mental health, psychology, relationships, finances, real estate, everything. Really everything, philosophical stuff. Because of that, my mind range has opened up so much, and I see significant improvements in my health and my fitness. I just feel at a different place than my colleagues from school. Also, what I think is really beneficial from reading is that you hear so many contrary opinions on different fields. And I think that is super, super important, because sure, everyone has an opinion. That does not mean that they're right, though. And I'm not saying that there is one definite right truth in anything, because I truly believe that it does not matter how much experience any person has acquired in their life. They are never close to knowing what the actual truth is, if that kind of makes sense. Because if you wanted to know what the truth is, then you would have to ask every single person on this whole earth on their opinion about a topic, and maybe then you could see the whole picture. But because we as humans, we're so limited in our belief, in our mind, that we only see ourselves. So that's why I seek different opinions. I want to hear different opinions in different fields, because it just opens your mind, and it just makes you a lot more receivable for the right opportunities when they do arise. You should develop that critical mind. The second thing I wish I knew earlier is investing. This may sound super weird, but I learned about investing after I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read a lot about it. I actually know a lot about it now. But it took me so long to actually go to a brokerage application account and whatever and create that for me and start investing, because I had this starter fear. As with anything new that one encounters, you have like this fear of, what if I fuck up? What if I, But after learning about the possibilities in investing, I always wanted to do it, but I never trusted myself to go ahead with it. And now looking back at it, I wish I would have opened that brokerage account a lot earlier. Just getting into the habit of investing a small sum every month into your account is, even if it's only 10%, like, of course, more would be better, kind of. But I, for myself, experienced that I've been watching my own wealth go up since I've started. I started with 18, I think, when I was in the legal age to start investing here in Europe. So I very, very, very much want to encourage you to learn about investing. You should definitely know what you're investing in, what the types of investments you can make before you jump in the cold water, and then you'd be surprised, because you should definitely know about it before you take the step to do it. With dividend portfolios, for example, we have a friend of the family. He started to invest when he was 14 years old in dividend shares. Now he's 85, I think, and he earns quite a good sum of money every month, like 20,000, and he makes a pretty good life of that. So start investing early. Short disclaimer: I am not in any way a professional in the field. I'm just talking about things I read and I experienced myself. And I would definitely encourage you to speak to a professional if you're not keen or confident about the topic yourself. So go do that. The third thing that I wish I knew earlier was the power of habits. I read this book. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And I wish I would have implemented good routines and good habits earlier in my life. Good habits that you implemented in your life will then also be so beneficial, because once a constant action becomes a habit, it's something you don't actively have to think about anymore. I think implementing straight up habits for your whole day just takes away so much think load from your brain and from your mind to free up for things that are actually a bit more important. So the fourth thing I wish I would have known a lot earlier is that failure is not a bad thing. Now I actually seek failure. I don't go ahead and purposefully do something bad or do things wrong, but when someone talks to me and tells me that I've done something wrong, then I seek to listen and learn from it rather than be scared of criticism. So what I learned is that experiences are always a two-sided sword. Every experience, it doesn't matter if it is a bad experience or a good experience, it will have a good and a bad side. Every bad experience that I have made in my life has actually benefited me in some way to become the person that I am today. So a little example, in my first relationship that I had, it was it was really toxic. At some point, it got me really depressed. I was super unhappy with myself because of it, and I blamed everything on myself. And that, for example, gave me the opportunity to set boundaries, to learn my self-worth, to be a lot more confident. I was 14 back then, but it did teach me a lot, even though it was such a pain in the ass. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You might not see in your situation right now, you might not see the benefits that you are making as a person, but I think if you look back on them, you will always see that bad experiences have given you a learning experience as well. And also, my father always used to say that if he could go back, he wished he would have done more things wrong earlier, because then now, again, he would be at a completely different point of his life. So what I actually believe is that success, and for me to become an entrepreneur, will mean to, first of all, start and do it, fall on my nose again and again, repeated failure, and that then combined with endurance and willpower to stand back up again. Because at some point, success will be so annoyed of me knocking on its door that it will have to open. That's my approach. Then the next thing I wish I would have known earlier is that you have to learn how to control your mind and your emotions. When I was 14 years old, 14, 15 around-ish, I never really was able to control my emotions. When I got sad, I had to show it. When I got angry, I had to go in the forest and kick against some trees or whatever. Like, I was not good at redirecting and reflecting my emotions in the situation and being the master kind of my emotions and reflecting in the situation itself. Your mind, yours, is so strong that it will actually determine if you will be successful or not. May success be whatever it is for you or whatever you define it to be. For example, if you believe you cannot climb that mountain, then you will never try. And the one who is fanatical about the idea, enough fanatical, to actually go ahead and try to climb the mountain because he believes that he can, he will go ahead and he may succeed. And that's the point I'm trying to make. Your mind is the biggest determinator of who you're going to be in your later life. So for me, meditation and journaling has been a huge part in controlling my mind, because through meditation, I've learned ultimately that I am not my thoughts. The thoughts that come and go, they are just a heat of the situation, of the present, of the one moment that you're right now in, but they are not objectical. They cannot see the whole picture, one single thought. So you have to step back and look at your thoughts and observe them, of course, but not be the thoughts themselves. You can't just let go of your emotions and be your emotions, if that makes sense in any type of way. And through journaling, I've actually learned how to be a lot more grateful for the things that I have in a way that I am thankful for what I have now, but I do still have the drive to go further and take the necessary steps to get to where I want to begin. So a little story time here. 1 month ago, I was in Chile and I spent 2 months there. I actually came back earlier than planned because something with the university did not work. That's a story for another time. And because then I was there and sitting in my mom's friend's house for the whole day, I had to figure out what to do with all my time. And I came up with this concept. I did this one for today. I don't know if you can see it. And it is like a to-do list for a day kind of thing. And I always write down what I want to do the next day. And this one says, here, tomorrow, morning, work phase, evening, and important things to think about. Maybe I will write going out with friends there or whatever. And then things I have to think about. So yeah, that is what I implemented. Okay, so the next thing I wish I knew earlier, and this will be a little bit more deep, I'm sorry, but it is about your brain. You're programmed, kind of. Our society has been programmed, and we all are most likely spending a lot of time on our phones, spending a lot of time watching movies, We all have Netflix, Instagram, whatsoever. And I wish I knew earlier that all these things are big tools of preventing you to take the necessary steps to achieve your personal success. And I know this may sound like a little bit, I don't know, a little bit crazy, maybe, I don't know, but I actually haven't watched a movie for 3 years. I don't like watching movies. I just get such a bad feeling when I watch movies about myself, because I'm like, oh, I could be so much more productive or whatever. I just get a bad feeling about myself, but that's just me personally. I'm always offline on WhatsApp. I deleted TikTok. I deleted Instagram, Snapchat. I have no games on my phone at all anymore, and I threw out all the gaming equipment that we had. I loved Horizon Zero Dawn or Mafia 3 or any type of video game that we had on the PS4. I played them for a long while, but I stopped doing that because it just eats time like crazy. Why am I putting this point on the list? If there were more people taking themselves out of the cycle of doing all the easy things, then you would definitely excel in abilities that you would then have time to concentrate on. For me, what I've experienced is that as I've stated, my attention span has increased, and I have so much time in the day that I actually want to be efficient. I actually get so much more done than any of my friends, and I have plenty of time. It's just the thing. I mean, everyone's always like, oh, I don't have enough time, but then they have a screen time of 5 hours every day. These are 5 hours you could use every day. So that's like my little message. The last thing I wish I knew earlier is that your friends matter. The reason for this, why I'm saying this, is because I used to have a friend group, and we went out a lot, we met a lot, and we had a lot of fun together, but we also drank a lot of alcohol. It was not like we were talking about anything valuable, anything that would enrich our lives by talking about these things. It was always dumb talk. And I'm not against doing that once in a while, but, and here's the but, I just think that too much of it will cloud in your mind to focus on the things that are really important. Of course, you first have to make it a priority, but I gradually pulled myself out of that friend group, and I now made friends that are a lot more like-minded, that want to be entrepreneurs as well, and that want to live a life with financial freedom. The conversations that I have with these people are just amazing. Like, we have so much fun together just by talking about the things that interest us, because we have a common interest, and it's not all dumb talk, and we don't have to drink to have fun, you know. That's like a really cool thing. I like that. So that was my little story time, but the reason I'm saying this is because imagine you are a strawberry and your friends are also strawberries, and if you are all in the same container and you have 2 friends or whatever close to you that are starting to get bad or starting to turn brown or whatever, then at some point it will affect you too. This is the strawberry analogy that I pulled out. Sorry, but I think it is super important that you have the right friends around you that are supportive of your ideas and that will have your back no matter what, because the wrong people around you, people drinking too much alcohol or taking too many drugs, that will definitely affect you, especially when this person is very close to you and you spend a lot of time with this person. So I guess what I want to say is that select your inner circle wisely. It matters. So the things that I talked about now was reading, investing, the power of habits, failure, and that it is a valuable tool for you to learn how to control your mind. You're programmed and deprogram yourself, and that your friends do matter. These things, I hope that they could maybe inspire you to change something in your life, or maybe inspire you to take a step that you were too afraid to take before. But I wish I really would have learned this a lot earlier, because as I've already said, I lacked the right role models, and I kind of just came across all these things by luck, I guess. And maybe you really need to hear this right now. I hope you liked the video. This is actually my second video. I would be really interested in your thoughts on this topic, what you think about the different things I said, and please write something in the comment section. If you want to learn more about the channel, please feel free to watch my latest video, and I hope that you liked this video today. If you did, please leave a big thumbs up and subscribe if you like the channel. I wish you a super pleasant day. Bye bye.